It's no secret that I have chronic pain, and next month actually will be 10 years of me having chronic pain. It apparently now my diagnosis is that I have fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome. It didn't start that way. I didn't get those diagnoses slash illnesses the way I guess most people would. Usually there's some kind of virus involved. That wasn't the case for me. And I guess I just want to show that like all illnesses are kind of different, even if you have the same name. So for me, 10 years ago, I was sitting in a weird position reading a book for 5 hours straight, and when I stood up, my back hurt. And when I finally went to the doctor, they discovered I had 2 herniated discs in my lower back, and usually that's an injury that happens from like an accident or something, like if you get into a car accident or you fall down at work or things like that. And I wasn't in any accidents. I hadn't fallen. I hadn't been injured. I've spent 10 years trying to figure out what could have herniated my discs. It's really weird that reading a book for that long would do it, but to my knowledge, I can't think of anything still. So that's how everything started. Like, I just stood up and I felt a lot of pain in my back and going into my left leg. And I was 16 at the time, and my doctors were like, oh, we'll go through the motions, we'll do physical therapy, we'll do epidurals, which are steroids. You get knocked out and you get steroids pumped into your spine. We send you to chiropractors, we'll try everything. But they wanted me to stop going to shows, or if I was going to shows, and stop going in the pit. And I wasn't going to do that because I was 16 and rebellious and trying to live my life. So I still went in the pit, and I still, stood online for hours, and I would be barricaded and get squished up against it by, hundreds and thousands of people a night. So that wasn't really good. Any progress I had been making at physical therapy was negated by my recreational habits, and the epidurals would help for like a few weeks at a time, a few months, but then they would wear off and you would need to get more, and you can only have 3 of those in a year. So that's not really a long-term solution, and the steroids would make me manic. So I really, really hated having them, and everybody hated me when I was on them, because especially that first week after I had the injections, I would be a nightmare to be around. And I'm not even joking. You don't want to see me that way. So that went on for about 3 years, and then I finally went to one concert and was barricaded, and it destroyed me, and I couldn't walk for a week really. And then I went to the ER, and the ER gave me some steroids and to my own doctor, and we discussed my options, and I was pretty much at the end of the line, and the only option was you had surgery. So I had a laminectomy on my L4, L5, L5S1 in January 2009, and I was on bed rest for a while and recovering, and then that sort of helped with the pain for about a year or so. And then I felt the tingles returning in my leg, and like even after I had the surgery, my back was still achy and stuff like that, because it's surgery, you're cut open, you have to heal, and you have arthritis then because you had surgery and blah 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 blah. But so that wasn't really alarming. But when I felt the tingles in my leg, which was the nerve pain, I knew I was in trouble. So I went back to the doctor, and they're like, yep, you have some slight reherniations, you have some scar tissue from the surgery, and that's messing up your nerves, and you have arthritis, and you're gonna go back to physical therapy, and you're gonna get more steroids, and basically go through the whole process all over again, which is really, really fucking annoying, because it's like, why the fuck did I even have surgery? But anyway, so that happened like 2010, 2011, and I kind of just progressively was deteriorating as I tried doing physical therapy and everything else. And then in 2012, I started getting mystery fatigue and insomnia issues. I had never had problems with those things before, and to this day we still don't know why I can't sleep, and while I'm really fatigued, every test I have comes back saying I'm normal and I'm fine. So that's really, really frustrating. The pain has also spread. It's not just localized to my lower back and my legs anymore. I have pain in my arms, I have pain in my upper back, I have pain in my neck. Pain basically everywhere. The fatigue and insomnia stuff also makes it worse because your body needs to rest and recover from the day, and if you're not getting sleep or you're not getting restful sleep, which was the case for me sometimes, then your body can't recover. So that would make the pain so much worse to deal with. And it would just be like all over aches. The nerve pain would be like, here's the thing, pain is really weird, and when I'm in pain, that could mean a number of things. When I have nerve pain in my legs, it could be a shooting like jolt. It can be tingly feelings. It could feel like pins and needles, like your legs falling asleep. It can feel like that my leg's just completely numb. It can feel like an itchiness. It could be in my entire leg. It could only be in part of my leg. It's very unpredictable, and I could feel totally fine one moment and then have a spasm and have my legs give out from underneath me, which has happened. And that's especially fun when you're going down the stairs, to have your legs give out on you. So it's really, really unpredictable. So that alone really sucks. And then you have the fatigue messing up your muscles and stuff like that and making that worse. And it's just, you don't get a break. And the other thing with fatigue and exhaustion is that you get this thing called like brain fog, and it messes me up to the point where I know I'm really intelligent and I know how to speak and I know how to write most of the time, and I'll really struggle to get words out. I'll struggle to remember certain words. I'll say sentences with my words in the wrong order. I'll try to write something and I can't focus and my eyes don't want to work, and they don't want to like settle anything while I'll be reading something and I won't retain anything I've read. And it can be really, really frustrating when all of that is acting up at once, because I get a little bit like an overtired child or a toddler. Like, I'm grumpy and cranky and I need to have a nap, and I won't have a nap. But I'm not having a nap because I don't want to. I literally cannot fall asleep for the life of me. And I've gone for sleep tests. I ruled out sleep apnea and all those other things, and I've tried a bunch of sleeping pills and none of those work. So right now I found something that kind of sort of works when it wants to. So hopefully I can tweak that a little bit more with my newer pain management doctor that I have. But it's just like, it's constant trial and error, and once you find something that gives you relief, it's not even guaranteed that relief is going to stay with you. So it's really nerve-wracking, and in 10 years of this, I've become very not optimistic, very pessimistic about things. Not even pessimistic, not even thinking that it's not going to work, but it's just I don't get my hopes up anymore. And I'm so used to doctors like kind of shitting on me and treating me badly and not taking me seriously. And partially because my age, like so many of them say, oh, you're 26. Well, now they would say you're 26, you're too young. But like, I had my spinal surgery when I was 19, and it was so defeating and insulting and awful to go into so many offices and have, assistants and nurse practitioners and even doctors look at my charts and my history and say, oh, honey, you're too young to be dealing with this stuff. And it's like, well, fuck you, because it's not like I want to be dealing with this stuff. I don't have any control over it. I'm here to get help from you, and your comments aren't making me feel better at all. I know I shouldn't be dealing with this, but I don't have a say in that. So it's really hard to deal with. And it's immensely frustrating. It's really, really isolating, and it takes away your autonomy, and it takes away the control you have over your life. And there was a period where I became very depressed because I was convinced I couldn't work in music with chronic pain and fatigue, that the music industry is very demanding, and I felt like I would die if I got a job in the music industry. And I got immensely, immensely lucky that I work with Extra Mile and I can work from home, and I can kind of set my own hours pretty much. So if I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I can't sleep, I am able to work. And, if I sleep until 2 o'clock in the afternoon, that's okay. I can still work when I wake up. And, if my back and legs flare up with pain or I'm having a really bad fatigue day, it's okay because I've queued things up and I don't have to go into an office and, drag myself and commute and things like that. My commute is to wherever my phone or my tablet or my laptop is. So it really worked out well for me, thankfully. I know that is a very rare occurrence for people with chronic conditions. But yeah, that's basically my story. That's basically being up to speed. I recently got the diagnosis of fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome from my new pain management doctor, just because he said that all my symptoms fit those conditions, and that's what he's calling it, so I guess that's what I'm gonna have to call it now. Before I was just undiagnosed mystery things, and I still don't have answers or reasons why my pain has spread, or why I can't sleep, or why I'm not getting restful sleep, or why I'm sleeping for 13-hour days after days of not sleeping, or why I have brain fog, or this, that, or the other thing. But having names helps a lot, and having a doctor that actually listens to me, which my new pain management doctor does, is tremendously important. And that's a big problem I faced in this past decade, of having doctors who look at the chart and won't listen to me. And even if I go in there with pages and pages of notes where I've documented my pain every single day and what I've taken and what I've done to try and help that they just won't listen to me, and they won't look at my notes, and they'll just kind of brush me off and be really rude and condescending, which is really upsetting and awful. So I deal with my pain as best as I can, and I deal with the fatigue as best as I can. I try to rest up and conserve my energy and use my energy wisely. I have various medications I take, from like low level to harder stuff, for painkillers. I have like heating pads. I have like icy hot stuff that I use. I stretch. I have TENS machines. I exercise when my fatigue isn't bothering me and I'm able to, and I do a lot of stretching and things like that to try and keep my muscles loose and to build up strength, because a lot of the problem with fatigue is that you end up feeling really, really weak, and that sucks as well. So it's just trying to make myself as better as I can on my own, with the help of the few doctors I have that are really great and listen to me. And yeah, we need to talk about our problems more openly, because I am not the only one who has chronic pain and chronic fatigue, and I will not be the last one. And I spent more than half of this decade feeling like I was alone and like nobody understood me and no one cared or just got me. And even if people can't understand because they haven't experienced something like this, I know that people care, and I know that I'm not alone, and it's really important that we just find one another and talk about it. So thank you for listening. If you have anything you want me to explain about chronic things that I deal with, I'd be happy to help. And thank you to my friends Mandi, who is Oh It's Mandi, and my friend Zoe, who is Zoe London DJ, for inspiring me to pick up my camera and